This year's tournament promises even more than both 1980 and 1982 because we have at the chessboard Viktor Korchnoi and Anatoly Karpov. For the first time in an invitation tournament since Viktor left the Soviet Union. They have, of course, played many times in matches in the World Championship Series against one another, but this is a first and achieves our aim of bringing the very best chess players in the world into competition with our leading British grandmasters.
For this fine sacrificial attack, Lev Pologaevsky was awarded the Brilliancy Prize. Not so long ago, the Dutch grandmaster Jan Timman was rated number 2 in the world. Recently his form has been patchy, and he's slipped down the rankings. But on his day, he's capable of beating anyone, including Karpov. Murray Chandler has made a good start, but the other 4 Englishmen are finding the going rather heavier. After 3 rounds, they have yet to score a single win. But they're all tough, uncompromising players, and can be expected to battle hard, especially when paired against each other. 27-year-old John Mestel is the only amateur in the tournament, combining his chess with a career in mathematics. But this hasn't stopped him producing some, at times, outstanding results, and he is in fact the reigning British champion. Miles's opening in this game can, at best, be described as experimental, and as we join play after Black's 20th move...
I must say I've played a lot in this year. I've played already 4 tournaments, and, well, not badly, but I feel that I'm running out of my energy. And also, well, every grandmaster has to have theoretical preparation for each tournament, and I feel I'm running out of my theoretical novelties, which I prepared some time ago. And because of that, I don't rate my chances too high. And when I'm looking what's how the tournament is going on, I must say I prefer to be a spectator rather than a player, because they're playing really interesting chess, fighting, and almost in each game there are interesting ideas, clash of will, and this is very interesting to watch.
Will you be playing a lot of tournaments now in the future?
I hope. No, this year was a peculiar one. I've played too much, I must say, and normally I don't think I have to play more than, say, 90 games a year, but in 4 months I played about 60 already.
This is the first tournament that you're playing in with a number of Soviet players. Are you pleased that the chess boycott is now lifted?
No, this is not the first tournament. I've played already in Vacancy and Yugoslavia with them. And, well, it's interesting, of course. I don't know. Well, it happened because of my goodwill to play the match with Kasparov. Finally, it happened that the Soviets also made some conciliatory steps. And of course, for me, it is much more interesting than to play to play in the tournament of the 2nd and 3rd grade. And, well, I would say that my personal relationship with Soviet players is still cool, but maybe it will be improved with time.
As expected, Karpov and Pologaevsky drew with each other in round 4, which allowed Chandler to join them in the lead by scoring his 3rd win, this time against the normally invincible Anderson. By defeating Vaganian, another player to move into contention was Sierawan, who in round 5 faced Korchnoi with the black pieces. Yasser Sierawan was the leading player in the United States until last year, when a series of disappointing results sent him tumbling down the rating list. Since he's only 24, it's hard to imagine that this is anything other than a temporary setback, and happy memories of his fine performance here 2 years ago may well spark off a change in form. And there's an added feature to this game. In the 1981 World Championship match, Sierawan was Korchnoi's second, so the two players should be pretty familiar with each other's styles and tastes. But Korchnoi had one of those. Sierawan moved up to 3.5 points, just half a point behind the leaders, Chandler, Karpov and Pologaevsky, who all won 2 and were setting a really cracking pace. Round 6 saw Karpov crush Tony Miles, while Pologaevsky kept up with his compatriot by steadily outplaying Anderson. When did the super-solid Swede last lose 3 games in a row? Chandler had a wild, topsy-turvy battle with Timman, which ended in a draw after both sides might have. In 1976, Tony Miles led the new English wave by becoming this country's first Grandmaster. John Nunn, who was also 29, achieved his GM title 2 years later. Then last year, they simultaneously broke into the Super Grandmaster class by surmounting the 2,600 rating barrier. Others choose to work out the chess games on their own travelling boards. While scattered all around the tournament area are computer TV monitors giving the position and moves of the main match of the day. Most people, however, prefer to sit and watch the moves on the display boards and just absorb the tension of the battles.
Well, I think this year, this might be the most interesting tournament of the year. So far, it has already proven that it is like that.
And we also asked him how he was personally doing in the event, and was he happy with his own performance up to the present time.
Oh, I'm not satisfied. No, I haven't played so well. I cannot find good form. I don't know whether this is related to my leg, but even before, I lost to Karpov in a very bad way.
The playing hall is packed to capacity well before the start, and as 1:15 approaches, the tension among the spectators begins to mount. The press are out in force, and Karpov arrives in good time to a volley of electronic flashes. He fills in the details on his score sheet, then his clock is started, and he makes his opening move, knight f3. This is already something of a surprise, since in the 1981 World Championship match in Merano, Karpov only once deviated from his favourite e4. But where is Korchnoi? While we're waiting, we have a chance to tell you something about his formidable opponent. Anatoly Karpov has been champion of the world since 1975, when Bobby Fischer declined to defend his title against him. As if to answer criticisms that he gained the title by default, Karpov then embarked on a series of unprecedented tournament successes, and he is without doubt the most successful active champion in the history of chess. In 1978, and again in 1981, he successfully defended his title against his opponent in the present game, and in view of their previously acrimonious relations, the first question to be resolved is, will they shake hands? Korchnoi arrives at last, a few minutes late. He's annoyed at having got lost in the maze of county hall corridors. Karpov returns to the board and... Still ranked equal third in the world at the age of 53, Viktor Korchnoi would be a splendid advertisement for the resilience of Soviet players born before the war, were it not for one thing. Always a rebel, he finally left the Soviet Union in 1976. Recently, he seems to have mellowed, and with the Russians having lifted their boycott on him, it's to be hoped that relations with them will become less cool. But such thoughts are pushed to one side as the two grandmasters confidently make their opening moves. The game transposes into a Grunfeld defence, an opening which has long been a favourite with Korchnoi. But it's hard to recall Karpov having much experience with it. What has he got up his sleeve? He in fact chooses a solid line, which allows black little scope for counterplay, and rather than sit back passively, Korchnoi makes an aggressive, probably over-aggressive, kingside pawn advance. And in the position after White's 20th move, we can see the result of this.
Well, the tournament's been quite a sharp tournament with so many strong players. You can lose quite suddenly and win quite suddenly. I started off well, I finished kind of badly. But overall, I was kind of happy with the result.